It's called Crawling Out and Falling Up. Her first puddle. There's rain, lying dead, in a hole. She's only ever seen rain fall, not trapped in a pothole. Why doesn't it crawl out and fall up? Indeed, I see it happen in thought, if not in deed. I have to admit, I've never thought of it like that. Now she's all grown up and doesn't even remember it. We meet a modern day puddle and she's puzzled when I say, why doesn't it crawl out and fall up? Oh, Da, she sighs, how do you ever think of such things? It's called Parallel Lines Do Not Meet. There's two things I'm really bad at, happiness and mathematics. I was never any good at those, until I met this one. I'm still no better at mathematics, but I'm doing happiness. Okay.
We're doing all right on that one. Yeah.
So this is called, I was bad at the old maths, then the new maths came in, and I was equally as bad as those. And in those days we used to just get slapped, and slapping something into you doesn't work. I still won't know Pythagoras' theorem. If you slap me 10 times in each hand, I'll just hit it. So parallel lines do not meet. This is the one thing I could actually understand in maths. Happiness is not a mathematical formula that one can apply to supply an answer. Rather, it is the sum of who you are multiplied by who you are willing to be. Happiness, like mathematics, is something I was never ever any good at, and always made me weep with equal parts desperation, exasperation and frustration, or DEF for short. For example, if it took a man a lifetime to dig himself into a hole, how long would it take for half the man he used to be to dig himself out again? Questions such as this only cause me grief. In mathematics, like Latin, which I also never know, I would cheat and repeat words full of sound and no sense, e.g., the cares of the hippopotamus are equal to some of the cares that hitherto hippopotami can find. Happiness, like mathematics, was all Greek to me. I don't know, that's all I know. But I do know that happiness happens. Every now and then, the only trick is to be aware that it's there and that parallel lines do meet at infinity. Thank you. Oh, that jam. Oh, that jam. Now this is called shopping list. After the funeral, your fingerprint lives on in a jar of Pond's cold cream. The shopping list dug out of a drawer, now a precious artifact. I, an emotional archaeologist, unearthing a smile buried in the past. All of our I wills become the past tense. The touch of your skin still so real to me. A teardrop trickles into my ear. Death unreels you, then makes you more real. I call your mobile just to hear you say you're not here. Thank you. I was calling up Jan one day and I had to co-teach with a teacher. And the conversation was something like this. Doing fine. I told you that I loved you. I told you what I was going to do to you, and I got you all to myself alone. I told you. There was a sudden laughter on the line. I think you got the wrong number, love, but keep talking, you're doing fine. So now I always say, Jan, is that you, Jan? Just to make sure. This is called I'm the Guildford Guildhall Clock, I am. And the BBC commissioned this poem. Now the commission, me and everybody else in all the counties of England. But we're supposed to take something in our county, your town, something that was so distinctive that if you were there, you'd know that you were in Guildford. So if you're in Guildford, it's the Guildford Guildhall Clock. Lovely golden clock, hangs over the streets since 1683, still ticking off the time. It's great. And the other thing that the BBC said was that, as well as doing that, and I was going, yeah, my brother had just died about 2 days. I didn't feel like doing this poem at all. And they said, and there's all these things, and the next thing was, and you've got to make it a character. And I thought, right, and you've got to give it a voice. And I was thinking, and I looked at this, but 2 hours later I had the poem, and I sent it in to them, and they said, oh no, it's 2 weeks you're supposed to have it in. I thought, all right. So my poor brother who died, I wrote it for his sense of humour. And I used to go to the gym because I'm diabetic, and they said you're going to have to get the needle unless you go to the gym and lose some weight. So I went to the gym and I was with Bob. And Bob was this rotund man, and he used to speak like that. "Hello, my friend, how are you?" And I gave the Guildford clock Bob's voice as well. So there's a statue at the bottom of the high street called the Scholar, and the clock is jealous of the clock. So I'm the Guildford Guildhall clock, I am. Oh, I've been knocking out time now since, 1683. Minutes and decades flow through me, the everlasting skies above me. I'm iconic, I am, dressed in my black and gold. I, if I may be so bold, am Guildford, the pride of Surrey. I watch the high street as it runs down to that young whippersnapper of a statue, the Scholar or whatever. People congregate about the chap, eat sandwiches, listen to a busk opera, only in Guildford, but it's me they look up to. And is there time for tea? Why, so it is, and citizens clatter over the cobbles. I'm the Guildford Guildhall clock, I am, tip-top, tick-tock, tick-tock, tip-top, tip-top. Thank you. Let's see what else we got. There's got to be more poems than that. Now this is my little girl again, and this is called Fast Awake. Night, reach for the switch. No! Don't turn the dark on. My dolly's scared. It's no good. I got no sleeps in me. I better get up because I'm fast awake. It's hard to fight logic like that. She came in one time. She was trying to smuggle her kitten into bed. And she had a little flannel night dress and all that. And I watched this very pregnant girl go by with the cat under her nightdress. And I said, "And where do you think you're going, young miss?" And they said, "Put the cat back." And she said, "Cats is people's too." So I was scolded. I thought, yes, cats is people's too. So we do that with everything now. Dónall's is people's too. Even Brian Baker's is people's too, aren't you, Brian? Yes, yes.
Debatable.
So when I was born, I was only £2. And I used to go to school and tell them this, and I said, there was no little things to put the baby in to heat it up. And I said, how do you think they kept me warm? And the required would go, "In a microwave, sir?" And I said, "If I find tomorrow any of you put the baby in the microwave, I'll give you detention." So I was only £2, and I was born in '56. I had locks, black locks down to here. It was Elvis. I'd come out ready to rock and roll. And as I was being born, Doris Day was singing "Que Sera Sera" on the radio. And I slid out, and the nurse had to catch me in a pitcher's glove and go, "Choo!" I came out really fast, and I thought, right, I'm here. And I was known as the Little General. And £2 is only like a bag of sugar. So this is called Dónall Dempsey Gazaman Dun, which is the Irish for "My name is Dónall Dempsey." I was born the weight of a bag of sugar, £2 to be precise. That was all there was to me. My belly, alas, weighs more than that now. The Dad could hold me in his fist and I disappear, except for the little dangly, dancy leggy bits. I had Elvis sideburns, I was all shock up, and entered this world of ours, feet first, putting my best foot forward, ready to rock and roll, man. Doris Day was singing "Que Sera Sera." And what do you think they called the tiniest baby you ever seen? Why, Dónall. Dónall, of course. Dónall meaning world mighty spear power. And Dempsey itself meaning the proud one. Oh, the majesty of the Celtic tongue. A wrestler's name, if ever, and in the green corner, or an Ozymandias name, look at my works, ye mighty and despair. The ma would always spoil it for me. World mighty spear power to proud. Get your ass in here now this minute and finish your homework. An awful big name to be sure, for a little fella to live up to. But sure, I do my best, putting words to the test, wrestling with a rhyme, stealing through my mind, for I am I not, the poet with the hyperbolic name, World mighty spear power, that proud one. Call me by now, my name Brian, or die. So I used to always say to the kids at school, and I was I've lost all my things now. This is called The Pursuit of Happiness, and it was written before Scotland tried to wrench itself away from the rest of the country, before the EU thing or anything like that. When we got married, there was just me and her and 2 witnesses. We do things small, we love that. A little small Irish Anglo wedding. And we had a reception, but the reception was a poetry night like this the night before. So that all our friends read poetry. And that's what we call a reception. Come on. It's a very Jan and Dónall thing to do. People see us together all the time. And if ever I come into a place first and Janice behind me doing the card, they always go, my God, you're on your own. Where's Janice? So I daren't appear in public without her. And sometimes you know that thing when couples get together and they look the same and all that. So people get our names mixed up and they call us Dónall and Janal. So this is called The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh no!
We declare this our bedroom an independent dominion, succeed from the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth of Nations, although still enjoying our European unions. Do we not, John?
We do.
Us, a republic of love, out on our own, our newfound land as done had done, a currency of caresses, our national tongue kisses, needing nothing but the other to complete our independence, flying the flag of happiness in this, our brave new world of love. Peace in my mind. Thank you. Jana used to hate that because I write these poems and I think, The Pursuit of Happiness, the founding fathers, they actually wrote The Pursuit of Property. And it was only afterwards that, let's cross out property and put in happiness. So you can see the way they were thinking. And
the last line of that used to be, Kiss Jan.
Oh yes, that was.
And
So I used to write these poems and go, The Pursuit of Happiness. Now I wouldn't know what the poem was going to say. Last time it would be Kiss Jan. And I had all these poems. I'd clamber down off the stage, go over to her and kiss her.
I used to see it coming and I'd be holding the camera.
Panic. No, kiss me again. Oh, Lord. That was good. Good sport, Lovey. Come on.
Good.
We'd moved, a lady friend of mine had moved in together and we had nothing. It was a bare floor like this. We didn't have any tables, we didn't have any chairs, we didn't have any bed. We just had each other. And we lay on the bare boards. And the only possession we had was coal, which I have now, and the complete sonnets of Shakespeare, nice blue illustrated edition. So this is called My Love Is As a Fever, which I think is sonnet 147, I can't remember anymore now. All that long hot summer through, I shared the summer cold with you, that seemed to last forever. Whether sharing the same germs, dreams, bacteria or whatever, it seemed to bind us so very close together. If this was love, it couldn't get no better. And all my heart could say, even to this day, is bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you. This is called that William Carlos Williams moment. I'm sure you're all familiar with the red wheelbarrow. And this is just to say, so that William Carlos Williams moment, an apoplectic god, furiously reads note attached to branch in place of apple. This is just to say, we have eaten of the fruit that was in the middle of the garden, and which you told us not to. Forgive us, it was so sweet and deliciously knowledgeable. So much depended upon the rain-glazed red apple. Adam and Eve stand wailing and gnashing their teeth beside the bitten red apple with the white teeth marks in it.
Thank you.
I don't know where I'm going now. So I'm going to have to go to here and find my place. All my little thing, my faces have fallen out, leaving me. Oh yes, teaching Timothy to read. Okay. I once taught Timothy to read, didn't I, Timothy?
Of course.
That was when you were a little lad. I won't read that thing. This is called The Moment Before the Moment. We went down to, I was reading in Jersey at the Opera House with Linda Rose Parks, and we stayed in her garden, which was full of sparrows and big long bamboo. And she's a very inventive poet, and so she reminded me of my daughter, who could pull things out of the air and be so surprising. When we went to Jersey, I kept bleeping going through the airport thing, and they kept pulling me back and keep pulling me back, and they searched me and patted me down and everything like that. And they couldn't find anything, so he came up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, but could we search your hair?" So he actually went. And I said, "I've only got thoughts in there, they're a bit curly, so watch out." When I was there, I went through Dublin. Dublin is different, they have Irish humour, Dublin Europe. And he was patting me down, and he said, "What's that?" And I said, I was reluctant to admit it, I said, "It's an unfinished poem." And he said, "Is it metal?" And I said, "No, it's mental, you know, a whole bunch of words hanging around on the page." And he said, "Oh, all right, take off your shoes." And then he put me through, and he said, "And the next time you write a poem, keep your shoes off, all right?" So I was on the page, poem, kicked off my shoes, and I wrote the poem. So there you go. The moment before the moment. The sea stands by my daughter's side, like a huge monster she has tamed. "See, see my friend," she pats and pets it. Both of them smile for the camera, as if either could never die. This the moment of the photograph that fixes both in place, held in a forever of black and white. The moment before this moment she had thrust her hand into the sea's massive body, and like a surgeon or a magician, brought forth a shell. To her it is a little miracle. She plunges her hand in again, conjures up a lost bikini top, blue with white polka dots. On her next sleight of hand, she creates bladderwrack with such a casual, nonchalant magic. "What is?" she inquires of me. She falls in love with the sound. Will bladderwrack, bladderwrack, bladderwrack all the way home, bladderwrack, bladderwrack. She is my tiny god, making a universe in her own image. The camera clicks, captures the creator in the act, her pet sea gazing at her imploringly like a kraken on a leash. She pats it with a splash, a wave licks her toes, the sun shines in glorious black and white. Okay. And now, finally we teach Timothy to read. Teaching Timothy to read. She is teaching Timothy to read, even though she can't read herself. Thumb firmly in cheek, she traces the words with a tiny fingertip that knows the story off by heart. She could read it in the dark. She is pretending reading. She has my every nuance and pause by rote, making great efforts to teach Timothy, the puppy. But Timothy the puppy is more interested in the unthrown stick. Timothy thinks this reading lark is strictly for the humans. Once she begins in a fairy tale-ish voice. Timothy barks in acknowledgement. "Throw the stick, throw the stick, throw the stick." Timothy mind think. Upon a time, a long time ago, Timothy looks adoringly at his little mistress with such an immensity of love, and licks her finger as it travels over the words, the story's journey. "Oh, you," she scolds, "are not even paying attention. It's no good, I give up." She frowns at the unhappy creature, throwing the book away in a prissy, hissy fit. Timothy the puppy, full of the joys of a dog's life, it's the only life he knows, chases the fluttering pages that fly like an exotic bird, brings Hans Christian Andersen back, his mouth full of words. This is called a corporal's definition of poetry. Has anybody been in the army? Oh, only me then. Alright, we're doing bayonet practice. Bayonet practice is a horrible thing to engage in. Perfect Summer's Day. Does everybody know David Jones' In Parenthesis? Great poem, First World War poem. The perfect summer's day, the sky a postcard blue. Hate distorted voices, faces chanting, stick it in his guts. A lark ascending, thrown itself against the vault of heaven, only to be rejected. Make it hurt, twist it about, kill the fucking bastard. God has a sick sense of humour to have bayonet practice on such a perfect day. The world whirlpools down the plug hole of Corporal Urbel's almighty mouth. He hates me because I, Private Dempsey D, number 835572, have not shown enough hate to kill a sandbag. Sweat trickles down my spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. The sandbag sucks the blade in and won't give it back again. I pull it out and fall upon my derriere. The sandbag bleeds sand, mocks my efforts, which displaces the book I have about my person. What's this? What's this? Corporal Horrible hisses. A book, Corporal. I can bloody well see it's a book. A poetry book, Corporal. In parentheses by David Jones. In? What's it? Do you think I'm tick or what? What, Corporal? Don't you what me, Sonny Jim. His spit peppers my face. There isn't enough white space around the words for it to be a poem. That's not an accurate definition of a poem, Corporal. He froths at the mouth, tears it in half, throws it over his shoulder. Why, you impudent little pup, get that rifle up, up, up! He runs me around the training ground 3 times and then 3 times. Later I go back and find only half of it. The half I have already read. A sheep is nibbling it, but like the corporal, it isn't to his taste. Over 40 years go by, and here I am, an ex-army man, finishing the second half of Jones in parentheses, remembering all too well the hell of running around the training ground 3 times and then 3 times with my rifle up above my head. Oh, the agony of bearing arms, remembering too never to argue with a corporal's definition of poetry during bayonet practice. And